I'm really excited to be here because this is the first podcast in this area. We got the little sticky back horizontal or hexagonal tiles. Super exciting. I got Obi Dorsey here from Freedom Home Buyers.
Jesse, thanks for having me.
I'm so glad to have you. You're my first guest in my new office space.
These are nice digs.
It's
you
nice
guys have
digs.
done a good job.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's taken a lot of work.
Yeah.
So I'm super glad to have Obi here. Who Obi is, you have a real estate business. Okay, so this is a show about entrepreneurship. So if you want to know about entrepreneurship, then keep watching because this is the show for you. Obi is a massive, like in Jacksonville, I would say one of the top leaders in Jacksonville, the kind of like business guys, entrepreneur guys. He's got like 20 employees. He owns 100 doors of rental real estate. We're going to get into that. He has a business where he does about 60% wholesaling and about like 40% flipping. So you've done, how many house flips have you done? We'll have to introduce Lucy too.
Over 1,000 at this point.
Over 1,000 flips. Yeah, it's absolutely insane. So we're just going to kind of get into business ownership, tips and tricks, what not to do, hiring and firing, culture, all kinds of stuff. So stay tuned. Lucy, you want to say hi?
This is Lucy Lou Violet Sue Dorsey. She's the newest member of our family.
So what would you say the biggest aspect to scaling a business would be? Would it be culture? Would it be tracking metrics? Would it be systems? Would it be hiring the right people? Do all those things work hand in hand? Or I don't know. What do you think about that?
Jesse, I could write a book on all the ways that you shouldn't do it and can't do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think there's you got to get all the ingredients right? And I think it starts with people measured by smart, actionable KPIs directed at a vision that's clear and articulated and that the team is bought into.
Yeah, there's like this book, Vivid Vision, and it talks about like really painting this whole process out and then tracking your key performance indicators, KPIs, against that vision and making sure you're hitting your goals. How do you set goals within your company? Like, is there a specific approach that you do?
So the book you mentioned, Vivid Vision, we've read it as a team. We've written it out. We've talked about it and we continue to talk about it. Having that as something that's understood and articulable and is front and center is because
when you know
really important.
Where you're going, then you can actually get there. How do you train your employees?
Well, I mean, I think it all starts with respect. And I think it starts with attracting the right type of people, being culturally aligned, and also being aligned in vision, like we talked.
Yeah.
Recruiting is a big part of what we do, right? Like the company is made up of the people that you attract.
How do you attract the right people?
Honestly, the best way that we've been able to attract the best people that match our culture is just from referrals. Birds of a feather flock together. So the best people that we've been able to attract and retain are people already in our network.
Right.
That just want to, they don't want to cap on earnings and they want to be able to run a business inside of a business. And that's essentially the platform that we've built.
Right. Nice.
So
on an aspect of a business plan, do you have a business plan? How do you execute that business plan once you create it? What should the business plan say and look like and be about? How much of that vivid vision is in your business plan?
Well, I would say it's a work in progress, right? Like it's never done.
Yeah.
No matter how much it's done, it's never done.
Right.
But the vivid vision is the kind of like the 10-year plan, and then a 3-year target and a 1-year goal and quarterly, broken down into quarters where we're really specific.
Yes. And we talk about lead and lag measures, right? Like actually tracking your metrics, maybe not looking at the wrong metrics, but looking at the right metrics. Do you want to talk about like that kind of traction idea or that 4 disciplines of execution idea of lead and lag measures?
Yeah. Yeah. So lead measures obviously are activities. It's what you're doing that produces the results. And then lag is, well, what results did we get
in the
from
past?
Right. From the activities that we did, whether it be, yesterday or last week or last month or 90 days ago.
Right.
So
both are important.
Both are critical. Yeah. And the lead measures are indicative of what ultimately is going to come down the pike and spit out.
So going back to culture, what are some ways that we shouldn't do culture, and how could we fix those things?
So we did that exercise as a team today, actually, and we were just discussing like how to absolutely destroy culture and how to reverse engineer it so that we could have success. Some of the things that we came up with was not to show up ready to work, a negative attitude, not working as a team, judging ourselves by intent while judging others by their actions, complaining or whining, not recognizing opportunity that's all around us, being ungrateful, playing the blame game, not accountable to our own results, and accepting a victim mentality.
Right. That's a big one.
Yep. And tolerating anything than a player behavior.
Right. The victim mentality versus the culprit, victim versus culprit mentality. It's like, no, this is actually, I take the blame for this issue. It's my fault. I'm the culprit versus the world's out to get me. I'm the victim for everything. Everyone's against me, you know?
Yep.
That's a big one.
Owning it.
Owning your issues. Yeah. Do you want to put her in the truck?
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool with you.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break, now sponsored by J-Lane Construction. Get your commercial contracting done today. All right, we'll be back. So we've successfully wrangled the beast, and she even peed on my couch over there, so we got that cleaned up. But
Lucy has been sequestered to the truck.
yeah, so the F-250, is that what it is? The diesel? Super Duty. Anyway, so what do you do, man? Like day to day, you're a wholesaler, you're a flipper. Are you like, who does your construction stuff? Like, you just hire residential GCs and
For the most part, yeah.
do you have people manage it? Like those 20 employees you have, what do they do?
Well, at the end of the day, we're a marketing and sales organization. So we're marketing for sellers that we can help, and negotiating win-win deals. And
Like we buy houses marketing kind of
yeah,
thing.
correct.
Yeah. Direct mail, texting.
We have got so many things going on. Yeah.
Lots of avenues.
Yeah. Everything from money pages to TV to cold calling to texting.
Are you the face of any of that stuff? Like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm Obi with Freedom Home Buyers.
Yeah.
Like you're on TV doing an ad and everything?
Mhm.
Oh, interesting. I haven't even seen that.
Yeah.
I don't watch TV, but you
Yeah,
should
I
send
don't.
me.
I don't either.
So you've never seen it either?
Only when we produced it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but one of the things that we do a lot of also is referrals. So a lot of agents refer us work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so other investors, we partner with other investors. Yeah, a lot of different things.
Nice. So walk me through those 20 employees. Like I'm curious. Like these 5 do this, or all 20 just do the same thing. Like
No.
what are the roles?
A lot of what we do is data related, right? We're in the public records getting pre-foreclosures, getting liens, judgments,
Probate.
Things
Fire
like
damage stuff?
that. I don't really like to buy fire damaged houses, frankly. They're just
Okay.
too much work.
Tax liens, you said?
Yeah, tax liens, pre-foreclosures,
Nice.
predominantly.
Okay. Very cool.
Speed to the lead's really important for us. So speed to that data
Right.
is important.
You'd be the first one?
Mm-hmm.
You'd like to be the first one because sometimes, I don't know, like that's interesting. Because if I'm a homeowner, and these home buyers are calling me because I get them, everyone gets it, right? Like, we'll buy our house, like Yellowbird sends them and everyone in the whole world. The big ugly, we buy ugly houses, guys, and I bought a house off of them one time, Palmer Terrace, made like $70,000. It was great, but that was a fire damage one. Long story short, like how do you differentiate yourself out of the market of being the person that that homeowner decides to go with to sell their house to?
Yeah.
Is it price? Is it
Well,
trust?
so
Is it
part of it's speed to the lead,
right?
First,
Okay.
Second is just being asking better questions, right? Like actually getting to the root of what's
Like the why.
the why, yeah, and then being the best solution at the end of the day. So we're pretty
Right.
creative in the things that we'll do. We'll advance people money before closing. We'll let them live in the house after closing.
Like, do you ever do subject to stuff or anything?
We'll do subject to, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Take over mortgages.
Interesting. Creative financing stuff.
Yeah, we'll do wraps. We'll buy on subject to, sell on a wrap.
Like a second mortgage, third mortgage thing, or what is a
second-
wrap?
A wrap
Wrap
would
mortgage?
be, yeah. So there's an existing mortgage in place. So maybe terms are 28 years remaining and 3% interest, and you could wrap that mortgage and sell it at 6% interest on 30-year note.
Interesting.
It's probably a bad analogy, but
Yeah.
you can do those deals.
So when you wrap it, what does that mean specifically? Like for the audience, like how would you dumb that down and explain like you're selling it to someone else
There's an existing mortgage.
at 3%?
Yep. And you're selling it on owner finance terms, but is this essentially wrapping the existing mortgage with a different mortgage with different terms?
Gotcha. Nice. So
it could be a mortgage sandwich.
Yeah. So what other kind of creative financing things do you do other than that?
I mean, that's generally what we do. Like lease option from time to time, seller finance from time to time, subject to wrap mortgages.
Okay. So you get a house, right? And you got great terms. You got it for a great discount. What LTV or what percentage of the ARV after repair value do you typically buy at? Like 70 or 60% of what you could sell it for, the ARV? Or what do you have like a percentage for that?
I mean, it all depends on the asset type.
Right.
And
like single family.
Yeah. But is it stuff on the north side or is it stuff in Ponte Vedra?
What market is it? Yeah, it's a big deal because Ponte Vedra you could have a higher percentage because
and then it's also it depends on the asset condition. So does it need carpet and paint or does it need a $80,000 fire damage gut rehab?
Right. So you buy, let's say you get a house at 65% of what you could sell, the ARV or whatever, but then you put, you scope the work out. Who manages all that?
So I've got a couple of subcontractors that are more or less turnkey trades that will
do you become the guy that's kind of like dealing with it, or do you have like someone that you've put in place to just like handle it as far as flipping?
Presently I handle it.
You handle it.
So
I'm just saying that because like those, not to cut you off, but those watching, it's like they're probably thinking, how could I build something like Obi's built? And so that's why we're here picking your brain, because I think it's interesting, different business model than my commercial general contracting thing for sure. But how could someone build kind of like this style business, flipping, wholesaling? It all comes down to, sounds like marketing is the big thing.
Marketing, sales, and ultimately at the end of the day, you ask how it's done. I think it's done by relationships. So whether it's the contractors that we rely on or the other vendors that we rely on, title companies, lenders, that sort of thing.
Right.
Or our buyers or our employees. I mean, it all comes back to relationships.
Yeah. It's all back to people. It's good stuff. You have 100 units of rental real estate. How many of those are single family? How many are duplexes, tris, or quads? And then how many are like multifamily, which is above a quad?
That's a great question. I wish I knew that off the top of my head because I didn't know I was getting quizzed on that. I don't know, maybe 50-50 if I had to guess.
Right.
I would say that, if I had any advice for anybody trying to accumulate a rental portfolio, it would just be to do two things. One, do enough of them that it actually makes sense to do them. Rentals,
don't have under
their
10
passive
or
income.
5.
Yeah, the idea is that they're passive income and they're anything but passive. It takes a lot of energy to get the properties, buy them right, renovate them right, make them tenant proof, get the right tenants, and then manage the tenants.
And you're all long term, no STRs, short term rentals.
Yeah,
no Airbnbs, no whatever.
Correct.
Yeah.
So go into it with the intent that I'm going to do 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 of these things to make it worthwhile.
Correct.
And then if you have an option of it, do the multifamily sooner than later.
Why do you have 50% or whatever ballpark single family?
Because I bought them before I learned multifamily.
So multifamily is better.
Yes.
I'm in that camp. I'm in the Grant Cardone camp, of that aspect, that mindset.
Yeah.
He bought that first house, Grant, and I was having dinner with Grant like a couple of months ago in Miami. I bought my Porsche, drove it that night to go dinner with Grant Cardone. He's talking about, he's like, how many doors do you have? And I'm like 10, 15 or whatever I had at the time. And he's like, you need to be at 1,000. And I'm like, wow, this guy definitely 10X his stuff or more. And it was cool to hear. And he was like, well, how would I get there? He's like, you need to find a partner. You need, someone crazy like me. I have a good Grant impression, right?
Not too bad.
But so you have 100 doors. So why, would you recommend someone just go straight to multifamily? Why is multifamily better? One roof, one location. You're not running around one, just simplistic. It's
big enough to make sense. It's big enough to be worth the effort.
That is the main point.
It's more leverageable, and I think Grant gave you some good advice. I mean, the way to get that is to partner. Right?
And the bank looks at the property, not your income.
Correct.
Single family is opposite.
Yeah, your credit's less important, and the other thing, the obvious thing, is that you have multiple doors, so you're spreading your kind of risk across multiple tenants. So,
Right.
one or two tenants go out on a single family house. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
On a multifamily, obviously, you've got some
Leeway.
others that are helping.
Right. So you're cash flowing really well on your multifamily stuff.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, we're intentionally paying down debt on all of the stuff that we own.
So you might take less cash flow, but you're paying that note off.
Yeah, we're just rolling it all back into the properties.
Okay, interesting. So you're more long-term approach. You're looking at 30 years from when you got the loan or whatever.
Hopefully a
or
lot
maybe
less
it's
than that.
20.
Yeah, hopefully a lot less than that.
Is it 20 years on your commercial loans?
No, I mean, all of it's almost 30 years.
Okay.
But yeah,
Did you have good rates when you got them back in because now they're like 6, 7, 8%.
Correct.
Back then they were, and my home loan's 2.75%.
Yeah. I think we're like,
which is awesome.
3.5 on most of the.
That's really good for multifamily. It's amazing. Yeah. So are you buying right now?
We're always buying.
We're filming this in 2023, January 2023, by the way.
Yeah,
You're always buying.
We're
Okay.
always buying, but
buying to hold. I mean,
always buying to hold if it makes sense. But
Gotcha.
right now, I don't think it makes sense. So,
right. So are you buying to flip right now in this market?
We're buying and selling a lot of stuff. Yes.
Right. Because I've stopped.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time selling my flips right now. I've stopped flipping. John will tell you. John's behind the cameras. He's like, you need to stop. John's like one of my partners at J-Lane Construction. He's like, stop flipping houses because it takes your time. My brain space keeps me up all night. All these little problems, and it's just sometimes I make 50 grand a house when I'm flipping, which is awesome. And it was I thought it was supposed to be fun, and I put systems in place, but still it took time. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to focus all my time on J-Lane Construction, commercial, general contracting, and multifamily renovations and construction. I'm just like, and we're crushing it now. Like we just signed up a national franchise that they're going to build out all across Florida, and just like it's just endless. All kinds of really exciting stuff coming up.
I think sometimes when you say no, it opens you up to so much more.
Dude, it's a clear path of yes to say no to other stuff.
Yeah.
I really learned that
shiny stuff
last year.
Shiny stuff. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
The shiny stuff syndrome, man. It's the biggest thing if you're an entrepreneur. It'll take anyone down, but entrepreneurs and especially ADHD people like myself, I think really kind of get distracted quickly versus really hunkering down. Like, thank God I've hunkered down with this construction company long enough to where we just hit 9 years in business. So we're about to hit a decade in business, and it's really cool to kind of see it really start coming to the surface, like at the froth. It's like,
that's interesting. We're right at 9. This is the beginning of our 9th year as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're kind of.
What month did you?
January.
March of 2014 was my.
Very cool.
Conception. Yeah. So it's exciting stuff. Well, dude, congrats on 9 years.
Yeah. Here's the 10.
Well, where can people find you?
I'm pretty easy to find. Only guy with Obi out there. So get me on Facebook, Instagram, or
Obi Dorsey.
Just local.
Yeah. Very cool, man. Is there anything else you want to add? Tell the world.
Jesse, thanks for having me. It's a cool setup you've got. Much continued success. And thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
Go check out Obi, guys. Like and subscribe. Peace.